Welcome to page 25. Here we're going to look at a variety of functions. We have linear functions, quadratic functions, cubic, absolute value functions, and inverse functions or equations. Let's start at the top. Please take notes as we go through each one of these equations. The key to identifying the graph of a linear equation is the fact that we see it graphs as a straight line. This particular line passes right through the origin. We know it's proportional. K times X equals Y is the form of that equation. But an equation that passes through an intercept, say, of -3 would be written like this. It's non-proportional, but it would be mx minus 3 equals y. Its intercept, or its b value, is -3. Each line comes from a linear equation. When we get a quadratic equation, we see the graph of the quadratic function is a parabola. When we get a cubic equation, we get this S-shaped graph. When we get an absolute value function, the graph is that of a V. And lastly, an inverse function has a curved shaped graph. Now, as far as each equation, there's a certain characteristic we look for in each equation. For linear equations, we look for the highest power or highest degree of the equation to be 1, x to the first power. We don't always write x to the first power, but a simple x means x to the first power. X equals x to the first power. Please take down these notes. There are two forms that these equations come in. You can get k times x equals y. That's for a proportional equation that goes through the origin. And then, of course, mx plus b equals y. Also graphs as a line. Each of these have x only to the first power. We don't always write it, but we know it's there. A quadratic has a parent function of y equals x squared, or we can write it the other way, x squared equals y. Now, a quadratic can be more complicated than this. It can be something like 2 times x squared minus 4 equals y. But again, if its highest degree or highest power on any x is 2, it's a quadratic. For the next one, a cubic, we have x to the third power equals y. And this can be more complicated, like 4 times x cubed plus 1 equals y. But if the highest power is 3 on our x, we know it's a cubic. An absolute value function is easy. We see the x inside the absolute value symbol equals y. And again, this can be more complicated, like the absolute value of 2 times x take away 3 equals y. But if that absolute value is present, and around that x, we know it's an absolute value function. And lastly, we have our inverse function. The parent function here is 1 over x to the first power equals y. We see that x is in the denominator. We know it can be written this way: x to the negative first power equals y. But nevertheless, when we have either case present, we know it's an inverse function. This happens to be the parent function for the inverse function. It is the most basic way we can write it. Now, it can be more complex than what's given. For example, 2 over x to the first power plus 5 equals y. It's a little bit more complicated than the parent function, but it has that key characteristic here, that x in the denominator. It can also be written 2 times x to the negative first power plus 5 equals y. This concludes the notes for page 25. Make sure you have all the notes recorded. If not, go back and do so right now.